Hello guys, another quick Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video here. I don't know how many I'll be doing, but I thought it'd be worth sharing this thing I made. So I made a Google document for the version exclusives, and that's well not just version exclusives, but those that you can't get in like the wild. You know, like you need to get them through particular ways, which I do explain in the first paragraph here. And I also make a note that Pokemon Home, the transfer system for that, is not available, but Nintendo has confirmed that will arrive at some point in 2023. Now, spring 2023 to be precise. I should have probably added that to my thing. Oh, well, I can add it. But yeah, I made this more so just for myself, but also I have wrote this out, or written this out. I don't know. I made this. I made this in a way that like it can be followed by other people, and not just myself. So I've shared it on like Discord, so I've given it to some people, and there's some like pretty big communities for Pokemon games, especially this being the most recent one. So that cannot be your trading needs, but I've actually found it's quite easy to get the exclusives, and I've gotten the game myself. I haven't got all the exclusives yet, but I'm pretty confident I can complete the Pokedex, because there's a lot of very convenient trading stuff, which I very much appreciate. We're not explaining a bit, but I've listed them here, and I start with the Scarlet ones in red, of course. So these you can trade, and also transfer when it becomes available. So if you see transferable, that's referring to the Pokemon Home thing, which is basically like a way of bringing Pokemon from other games into, and you can put them on Home, and then Home you can take them from Home and put them on a different game. Basically, that's what that is. So yeah, that will be available very soon. And yeah, you can do it for most of them, but you can't do it for the legendary here, and also Amaru, because they are a new Pokemon, so they aren't in any other game, and thus there's no way of transferring them to the game. I assume you can just transfer them, but like once it's available, you can put them on Home. But I don't think there's anything else that's going to be compatible with the new Pokemon. So yeah, you're going to have to trade for that one. So that's going to be a difficult one to get. But there are like particular link trade codes. I'd recommend looking them up. Which the codes are basically based on like Pokedex entry numbers. So you can like enter the one you're looking to trade, and right after you enter the number that you're looking to receive. And it's really helpful, because obviously that's a very easy way of finding people who want to trade their exclusives from Scarlet to Violet and vice versa. And usually that number comes like the trade codes, the popular ones, are usually mirroring like how I've ordered it here. So for example, Bagon, who trade that for Larvitar. So you need kind of specific ones, I feel, to do the trades. But yeah, you can find people in general like Discord servers, willing to trade, and just yeah, there's a lot. There's also surprise trades. You might get lucky finding one there, but that's like a mystery thing. So yeah, I will recommend mystery trading for something later on though. But yeah, I won't go through all these just because I assume if you're watching this video, you are familiar with the version exclusive stuff. But yeah, I would like to point out though that it's quite easy to get most of these. The only one you're going to have trouble with is the other legendary, and the the version exclusive evolutions of Charcadet. Those are the only two that I think they'll be much difficult with. And even then, there are link trade codes for them, and you can actually get a second legendary in like Area 0, I believe, in the end of the game. So you can use that for trading, or you can just have two of the same legendary. That's up to you. But yeah, you can get two. There's also a dupe method, I believe. But but that's for your rideable Pokemon, and that like has a bit different properties. I don't think you'll be able to trade on. So yeah, I don't think I'd recommend that, but there's a lot. There's a lot you can look into. There's a lot of options you have for getting these. If you ask for something like Pokemon Go is what I think of, like for like transferring stuff. You can bring them over to home and then just chuck them in. So, for example, Sky, if you don't have a Larvitar, but you have a Larvitar and Pokemon Go, just bring them to Pokemon Home and then you can send them to Scarlet when that feature becomes available. But if you got the game now or whatever, you get it soon, you'll probably be able to knock down most of these pretty quick anyway. Like, I've got most of these right now. And also there's the Paradox Pokemon, and you get the ancient ones for Scarlet and the future ones for Violet. So yeah, you can only trade them because they're all new, and also they cannot be bred. They're like genderless, and you can't use them for breeding. So unfortunately, you can't really get like an original trainer version of like the other Paradox version. But you can acquire them. There's also link trade codes for these guys, so it shouldn't be much short again. But they are a bit rare, and they're like end game Pokemon. So yeah, I think that's worth pointing out. And also here in the other, which you can also only trade because it's new here, is Paldean Tauros, the Blaze breed, which is the half fire type version of Paldean Tauros. You can it's quite rare, but you can find in like packs of Tauros. You can find a special one, and if you have Scarlet, that's a fire type, and if you have Violet, that's the Aqua breed. And I've covered the list here, and in the description I will link this stock if I can. Yeah, it'll probably work. I assume I can attach Google Doc links, and it'll be view only, so you can view this, you can copy paste it, whatever you want, or you can just use this video and pause here. Yeah, moving on from version exclusives, we have some tricky ones to acquire, like starter Pokemon are trade only, and I explain it a bit here. Basically they can't be found in the wild, and I explain the best method of trading is to breed your starter Pokemon. If you need help with breeding, there's a ton of tutorials, I won't get into it here. But you breed your starter Pokemon, so you have duplicates of that Pokemon, and then you use them to trade for the other two stars that you didn't pick. And it's surprisingly easy to get these. I thought it'd be quite difficult, but because people do breed a lot of them, you can find them quite often. Like doing surprise trades, you can find a Sprigatito quite easily, I found. A lot of players have been reporting this. There's just a lot of Sprigatitos being thrown around. Quaxly's the rarest, I suppose, because I think they're the least picked, and I think Sprigatito's the most picked. It might be Fuecoco though. Both of them are popular. Quaxly, not so much. But yeah, there are also link trade codes for this. And also, a neat thing about link trading in general, you don't need to enter a code, and then you can just find someone. And it will highlight and like show like a Pokemon moving if it's something the other person doesn't have. So you could try and make an offer for that. And if it's a star Pokemon that they don't have, they're probably going to want to make a trade for it because of this exclusiveness of it, because you can't find the wild. So yeah, here this counts for Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxly, and their evolved forms. In terms of trading, I'd recommend just getting like their first form, because then you can obviously evolve them and just hatch more, obviously. But yeah, if you do get like an evolved version, you can just breed them and hatch more. So yeah, you don't need to worry about like making trades specifically for each evolution. If you get one, you'll be able to get the rest. Next is trade evolutions, and these are actually transferable as well as tradable. And there's a few here, and basically these are evolutions that are locked behind trading. You need to do a trade, and then they will evolve automatically, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why this is still a thing, but there are some alternatives here, like transferring stuff, like a Pokemon Go. You find them, you transfer them. This does cap for mainline stuff. But Pokemon Go, I'd probably say, is the best method. They're hard to get, these three, but you can get them just from like using candy to off. Also, you have two devices, and I guess you can make an alt account and then trade them off of that. That might be what I have to do. Or people might just trade them in general. I've gotten quite lucky. Someone was willing to trade Scissor for something. I don't know. I think I gave him a star or something. Because the stars are quite sought after, so you can get good trades like that. I didn't ask for anything in particular, so that was quite lucky. But yeah, you can find for regular trades. If you're looking to do like the trade thing where you exchange your Pokemon, evolve it, and then trade it back, I would be cautious. I don't know if there are link trade codes for something like that. Because there might be, in the sense that, hey, you trade this one Pokemon, you get the other, and then you two would want to trade back because you want to get your own original trainer version of that Pokemon, probably. So, I don't know. I don't know if there are specifics like that, but it's quite tricky. Gengar, you don't have to worry about in particular. They don't need to hold an item, and they are tradable with an in-game NPC in the city where the electric type gym is. I can't remember the city names, but yeah. It's necessary, handy, and then Scissor and Slowking. Slowking is one I still need. You don't see a lot of them. But yeah, there's separate evolution of Slowpoke, because normally they'll just evolve into Slowbro. But if they're holding the King's Rock item, when traded, they will activate the trade evolution. And for Scissor, you need to be holding the Metal Coat item for the evolution to activate. So yeah, and because they're evolutions, when you like breed them, you'll just get the previous form. So to get an original like trainer version of them, that's quite difficult if you don't have like anyone else for the game who's just willing to trade whatever. But again, I think it might be possible to find someone who will trade the same Pokemon, both yours evolve, and then you just trade it back because you're gonna want your own one back. That might be safe to do. And there might be a link trade code for that. I haven't really checked. But yeah, basically, it is possible to get these. There are ways, but they are quite difficult to get Scissor and Slowking. Next are Pokemon Home exclusives. And I explain what Pokemon Home is, which I've already done. It's a cloud service, like put your Pokemon. And certain Pokemon have been confirmed to be transferable using Pokemon Home to send them to Scarlet and Violet. When the feature is added in 2023. These Pokemon will be tradable and seemingly can appear in Terra which Charizard already has, which Charizard can be bred to get Charmander, Charmeleon, and whatnot. They don't count as Pokedex entries, so you don't need to worry about collecting all these, but they are accessible in the game. You can put them in the game, so if you're a fan of any of these Pokemon and you want them on your team, you can. I list them here. It's basically all just legendaries and a few starter Pokemon and different forms of Pokemon already in the game. That's usually what these consist of. I don't think more will be added to this list. But yeah, I've ordered in generations, and to clarify, these are all well, I haven't actually specified it. These are all transfer or trade only. You definitely can trade them. You can trade these Pokemon because I've got a Charmander from people trading the stuff they get from the Terra raid. Currently Score Bunny you can also get from the Cinderace raid that's going on right now. I haven't got them. They're quite sought after, and if you do have to be lucky to get one of them, I would definitely breed a lot of them, because a lot of people might just have them and then like you're not going to get a trade for them. But if you do have one, because it's something that you either have or you don't have, it's like a star Pokemon. Someone's going to make a trade for that, you know. So yeah, because I'm not in the Pokedex, you can't really see if people have them or not just by the like that animation I showed where they like bounce around. Well, that I mentioned, I didn't show it. But yeah, it's interesting, and you can breed them for like get shiny versions and whatnot, and you can also transfer shiny versions. I thought I'd both mention, but enough rambling. here is the list. Generation 2, Generation 3, I think those are just legendaries. Now there's Quagsire. I'll get into Wooper and Quagsire. But they're also compatible with this game, but they're not in the Pokedex. But you can just get them in the regular game, and you can just breed more of original Wooper. But I thought I'd list them here anyway, because it just kind of makes sense. Generation 4 is a lot because you have these different versions, which the versions I was at the bottom. Generation 5, 6, 7, 8 here, but they got all the Gen 8 ones, and I think all the Gen 6 ones with the starters you can get in this game. So yeah, exclusive Pokemon forms from all here. I'm not going to go through all this, but yeah, everything that has been confirmed is here. There could be more. I'm not really sure. I think this is all though. And Wooper original, tradable for one time only with an in-game NPC. This is at the water gym. There's this woman that found an issue of Wooper. Level 18, you get Quagsire pretty quickly. Does not count for the Pokedex, but Quagsire is the best Pokemon, so you're probably going to want to pick up this trade. You exchange a Pardian Wooper for the original Wooper. And I can't remember, it is a nearby Pokemon to get the Gengar trade. But yeah, there's a lot of forms here. These are all Pokemon that you can get in the game, so any version of them you can add. There are specific stuff though, like Pikachu, I put all 8 regional caps, but I do not believe you can send in like a Pokemon Go holiday like specific stuff. For example, like the New Year's Pikachu with a hat. I don't think they're transferable. I could be wrong though. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, there's a lot of these specific types. You got Alolan forms and Galarian forms. Alolan's from Gen 7, Galarian's from Gen 8. And something I only learned recently, you can get a Galarian Meowth as a gift Pokemon. It's from doing like the classes in the academy. I think the language classes. I'm not particularly sure. I think when you complete the language classes, though, you do get it as a reward. I could be wrong though. You want to look that up. I know you can get it. I have not gotten it myself yet though. But yeah, it is possible. I just can't remember the specifics off the top of my head. Everything else is transfer only, or trade only. Like when it becomes available, people can trade these. So if you have something valuable that you want to trade for something else, then go for it. Obviously, with all the legendaries that will come available from this, it's interesting. There's also like 4 other legendaries that are new to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that aren't in the Pokedex. I assume you can trade them. I wouldn't know because you can get 1 in a save file, and they are in every save file. But yeah, they're new, so I haven't listed them here because you do just get them in your save. Yeah, thanks for reading. Hope this helps. Created by me. That's my Discord tag, and then yeah, this when I last updated it. So yeah, I hope that helps. I'll link some in the description. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.